So let's talk about the AVL trees. Okay, so AVL trees, as we saw in the last lecture, are a class of height balanced binary search trees. Okay, and they also have another name called admissible trees. So what is the objective? Finally, we want to ensure that while we are doing insert and delete at every point of time, the height is maintained at order log n. Okay, so this is the objective. Now, how do they ensure that? What is the additional restriction, for instance, they put over binary search trees so that this happens? So they have this something called a defining property. First, let us try to understand the defining property. So what is the defining property of AVL trees? So the defining property is for any particular node in that tree. So let's say, so let U be any node in an AVL tree, and let L and R be the left and right subtrees. The left and right subtrees of U. So then, for defining properties, then we must have the height of right minus height of L. This should be less than equal to 1. So that means at any point of time for any node, so in other words, the heights of the left and right subtrees of any node in an AVL tree, they cannot differ by more than 1, so they differ by at most 1. So this is the defining property. Now what actually we have to prove is that if you maintain this defining property, so yeah, that's how we will proceed. So there are two things. First, like the defining property does not say anything about the height log n. So if we can maintain this property, the first thing you should be curious about, and we have to prove, if we can maintain this property, that implies that height is order log n. Okay, and that will be a good motivation to go further and say, okay, now how do I actually maintain this property? How do we maintain this property? And that is efficiently. I don't want a brute force thing, because I don't want that while I'm doing insert and delete, the complexity becomes more than order h. Right now it is order h. I want to make it order h while keeping h as log n. But suppose this becomes very inefficient, then even the insert and delete complexity will be very, very high, and there is no point of this whole exercise. So how do we maintain this property efficiently? So if we can understand these two things, then we are done about AVL trees. Okay, so fine. So let's do this one by one. Now before that, so in terms of representation, so when you will do your coding, so in terms of the representation, so you were having the key, you were having the left, right, and maybe the parent pointers. So apart from that, so in addition to this, what else you will need to store? So I need to figure out what is the balance property, what is the height balance of this particular node. So in this case, I just maintain something called a balance factor. In addition to this, a node in an AVL tree should maintain the balance factor. So, okay, and what is the balance factor or how it is defined? It's simply the difference between the height of the left and right subtree. So that is what is balance factor? Height of left subtree minus height of right subtree. So we just maintain this for everyone. And what are the values it can take? So it can take, so you see this has to be less than equal to 1, the absolute value. So this, so the values 0 plus 1 minus 1 can be used. So that means I don't have to store the individual heights. Okay, what is the height of left subtree, right subtree? I can just maintain this value 0 plus 1 minus 1, and if by insert or delete balance factor goes beyond this, I need to do something. Okay. Sure. So yeah, no need to store the individual heights. Okay. So how will I show that pictorially? That, so for example, I can draw some trees. So for example, I have this node, I have the left and right subtrees, and let's say both have height h. Okay, so in that case HL minus HR is 0. So balance factor, so just like a balance, so this will be 0. Okay, but on the other hand, suppose two subtrees, left right. Okay, so yeah, I think keeping the notation, I mean, if it is going this side it looks positive, this side looks negative, so we use this. So yeah, I just change the sign here. So this I am changing, so not this one, I will use HR minus HL. Okay, height of right minus height of right, and that makes sense because now in this case balance looks towards the right. Yes, balance looks towards the right, and I can put a plus 1. Okay, so I can put a plus 1 here. This was 0 and this is minus 1. So this height say h, and this is h plus 1. And similarly the last case where I have the node and the height of left subtree is larger than the height of right subtree by 1. So this is h plus 1 and this is h. In this case the balance will become minus 1, 0 plus 1. So balance will be minus 1. So here I should say HR minus HL is 1, HR minus HL is minus 1, and here also I should say finally HR minus HL is 0. Okay, so these are the three cases. I have a node, two subtrees, depending on the height you have the balance factor. So now let's now try the proof that if I'm maintaining this property that HR minus HL, the mod is less than or equal to 1, then I can maintain height as order log. Okay, so now see, one thing to remember, height is always omega log n, right? It can never be better than that. So I just want to maintain that the height should be now order log n, so it should also be upper bounded by log n. So now we are seeing how this property, this HR minus HL, less than equal to 1. How does it ensures that h is order log? So what do I need to do for that? So I need to generally prove that, suppose I have given an AVL tree of height h. Okay, if I can prove that the minimum number of nodes it can have, right? So what are the minimum number of nodes it will have? Let mh be the minimum number of possible nodes, because height will be the worst when it is having the minimum number of nodes. The maximum number of nodes we know that are 2 to the power h plus 1 minus 1, and that actually ensures h is omega log n. But what is the minimum number of possible nodes it will have given this property? And if I can show with that number that yes, this height is maintained, then I am done. So let mh be the minimum number of possible nodes, okay, in an AVL tree of height h. So now this AVL tree will have a left and right subtree. Now if the height of the AVL tree is h, what will be the height in left and right subtrees? What are the possibilities? So you see, the HL minus HR cannot go beyond 1. So simplest possibilities both are h minus 1, h minus 1. It can never be h, because height of the tree will be 1 more than the max of the two heights, right? So that will be the height. So both can be h minus 1, h minus 1, or one can be h minus 1, another can be h minus 2, or one can be h minus 2, another can be h minus 1, right? So, and let's say mh in general denotes what are the minimum number of nodes an AVL tree of height h will take. Now among the three possibilities, which one would have the minimum number of nodes? Yes, which one would have the minimum number of nodes? Obviously here the height is smaller in both the cases, so the nodes you can have here will be at least one more than this. If you need to maintain one more height for one of the trees, you need to have at least one more node. So that means among the three things, this will have the maximum number of nodes. Or you can say, suppose you want to say, okay, which one I want to put a bound in terms of the minimum number of possible nodes. So this will always have or I should say like that, it will always have at least one more node than the minimum possible nodes in, say, case 2, case 3, in case 2 or 3. Because case 2 and case 1, how do they differ? They differ because right subtree has an extra height, so that means you need to have at least one more node if you are taking the minimum possible nodes here. Similarly, case 3 and case 1, how do they differ? It will have at least one more node in the left subtree. So it will have at least one more node than the minimum possible nodes in case 2 and case 3. So that means in case 2 and case 3 look symmetric. So one of the subtree is h minus 1, another is h minus 2. And we are taking that case, okay, the overall tree has the minimum number of possible nodes. So then what can I say? So let's assume left and right subtrees are AVL trees with minimum number of nodes. So one has to have a height of h minus 1, another has to have a height of h minus 2. So I can say, now I can put an equation, how many nodes overall tree will have. Minimum possible nodes are those in the left subtree, in the right subtree. One of them will be h minus 1, another will be h minus 2, plus I'll have one more node for the root. Okay. So yeah, what is the what is the base case? So what is the base case? So you have what is m0. If the height is 0, there is only one node, right? What are the minimum number of nodes of height 1? Yes, for height 1 you have a root, and for height 1 you need to have at least one node, right? So minimum number of nodes in 1 is 2. Yes. Now, does this equation remind you of something? mh is mh minus 1 plus mh minus 2 plus 1. Suppose there was no plus 1. Suppose there was no plus 1. What would it have looked like? mh is mh minus 1 plus mh minus 2. Yes? So this looked something like a Fibonacci series. So, but there is a plus 1 here. So can we do something so that it becomes a Fibonacci series? Even the base case, you see m0 is 1, m1 is 2. For Fibonacci, this is 0 and 1. Well, base case anyway we can take it. So yeah, what can I do to so that the sequence becomes a Fibonacci series? So what I can do, I can make something. So I can say mh plus 1 is equal to mh minus 1 plus 1 plus mh minus 2 plus 1. And now I say, let's say, let nh be mh plus 1. Okay, so that implies I am writing nh is equal to nh minus 1 plus nh minus 2, and now this becomes the recurrence for Fibonacci series. Yeah, and what will the base case? So n0 is m0 plus 1, so 2, and n1 is 3. Okay, so yeah, so this for Fibonacci this comes, so f3 is 2, so that means nh is f of h plus 3, and we know the formula, that is 1 by root 5 n rho to the power h plus 3. Okay, so that is one of the reason also that this AVL tree is also known as, also referred as a Fibonacci tree. Okay, so now what do we see? So now let's now recapitulate what we have done. So let T be any AVL tree of height h with n nodes. So what do we know? So the number of nodes are greater than or equal to mh, right? I already found what is the minimum possible nodes, and that are 1 by root 5 rho h plus 3 minus 1. Okay, and if you try to solve this, you will get h less than or equal to log n plus 1 plus log root 5 divided by log rho minus 3, and this is close to log n by log rho, and this will be close to 1.44 log, right? So that means what we are finding, so h is bounded by a constant factor times log n. So that proves that so that is AVL tree is height balanced. I was able to maintain HH order log just by following the property that HL minus HR, HR minus HL, the mod should be less than or equal to. And this we were able to prove the height is order log n. So this becomes close to a Fibonacci tree. So now that we are done with the first thing, right? If we can maintain this property, then height is order log n. And now the next question is, how do we maintain this property efficiently while doing the operations? So now what are the operations? So we can talk about, say, search operation. Now let's talk about the operations. Let's say search. Now what will happen in search? So search, if you think search, you don't change any node, you don't bring in any node. So when you do search, so you can carry the search exactly the same way as you are doing in binary search tree. So search can be carried out similar to binary search trees. Fine, no change. And if the height is order log n, this will be order log n. This is 0. Now what about insertion and deletion? So actually, so insertion also, if you will see, so insertion also, or deletion also proceed in the same way as in BST. So you actually follow the same sort of pseudocode for doing insertion or deletion, but the only problem happens, but it may throw the tree out of balance. So it may happen that at some node your balance factor is no more maintained. So that means some additional work is required to maintain the Savior property. And that is what we will see. Okay. So let's try insertion. Insertion is definitely easier than deletion. So let's get some confidence from insertion. So in insertion, so you see what will we do? We will follow the same thing that we were doing in BST. So follow the procedure similar to BST. And what is the procedure? So you have to start from the root node and search for that node that you want to insert. And at some point, so that means finding a unique path. From the root to node U. Suppose use the node that you want to use the node where you feel you have to go, but you are not finding you're finding nil, and inserting new value in a new leaf node as a child of U. Yes. So that is what you do. So this is fine. So you have done that. This is similar to what you do in binary, this BST. But now what you will have to do, so you will have to traverse the path up. So starting from this leaf node up to the root, and see that you may have to adjust the balance factors, because you see a new node has come, so that means some nodes balance factor will change. Yes. So you will have to go up the path and adjust the balance factors. Now that's where the main critical point lies. So how do you adjust the balance factors? In that process, do you find some node where the balance factor now starts becoming 2 or minus 2? Okay. So child of U. So now we traverse the path upward from this inserted leaf node to the root. and we adjust the balance factor. Now if the adjustment leads to a height difference of 2, in that case we have to do something special. So we have to perform something special. Okay, now this is becoming abstract, so now let's take an example. Okay, let's take an example. So I am putting a tree with its balance factors. So actually let's do an exercise also in compute the balance factors of all the nodes. $83, $79, $97, $29, $47, $23. The left of this is 37 and to the right of this is 13. Yeah, could not fit it well. Maybe I will just so 7 and 30. Okay, so this is my tree. Now let's quickly do the balance factors. Yes, so the leaf nodes are always balanced. Yes, okay, let's go to this branch. So this is this has a the right subtree has height 1, left is 0, so this should be +1. Okay, in this case the left subtree, so it should be -1. Again left subtree, -1. Here both have the same height, 1 and 1, so it will be balanced. Okay, again here in this case for 83 I will see that, oh, I think I attached 79 to the wrong node, so it cannot come here. Yes, it's 73 is left subtree, 79 has to come here. Okay, so 79 had a balance factor, they both have 0 height, it's balanced. 67 is balanced, and 73, they are both balanced. Should it be balanced? No, it's not like that. So the height here is 0 and this is 1, so 0 and 1, so they should be +1. HR is higher, so it should be +1. Okay. Now for the node 17, this height is 1 and this is 2, so this will be 1 again. Now for the root node, this is height is 1, 2 and this is 1, 2, 3, and this should be -1. Okay. Now suppose I insert some node. Suppose I insert 53. So let's see what happens if I insert 53. So I search 59, I go in the left, 17 I go to the right, 31 I go right, 47 I go right. I don't find a node, it's a nil pointer, that means I have to insert. So I insert 53. New node, its balance factor is 0. Yes, and this is what you do in binary search tree, right? Create a balance factor of 0. But then what is the special thing you have to do in in the case of AVL trees, you have to go up the path, follow the pointers up to the root, and see if the balance factor has to change. Okay, and as we will see, you may not have to traverse up to the root. You may actually stop in between if you find something proper, some property. But let's see. So you go up. So go up 47. 47 balance factor will change, right? This is now because its root new node has inserted, both have the same height, so this will become balanced. Okay, now what will happen to its parent 31? So you see both the child have the same height. You don't have to change anything. Now you may have a question like, how do I know that I don't have to change the balance factor here? Here it was fine, it was inserted, so I knew that the right subtree. So actually this is also a bit involved, you see. So you have to check that for 47, what was the balance factor? It was -1. Okay, and now you inserted a right child, so that means HR will increase, so balance factor will become 0. But the case could have been that this does not have a child, this does not have a left child. So what would have happened? Earlier balance factor would have been 0, and now you would increase by 1. So that means this is easy. So when you are traversing up, immediately next parent, you will increase the balance factor by 1. The right, if it is a right child. Yes, if it is left child, you will decrease by 1, because the height of the right subtree has increased. Yes. Yeah, just bear with me for the conventions, the way we are denoting height. So actually you will say that the height of this subtree is actually 0 as per our convention, and this was not even there. So yeah, so was it already 0 0 in both the cases? So yeah, this is something you have to like understand differently in the case of AVL trees. So for a node, if I have a subtree, so generally you will also consider it as giving some height, as if this is giving a height 1 and this is giving a height of 0 when the node was not there. That is how you were saying 0 minus 1. Okay, so this is something you have to understand, but because we are not storing the height, so that is all right. We are not storing the height, we are just storing the balance. So earlier it was -1 because this had a node, this does not have a node, and now after putting this node, this became 0. The balance factor became 0. So yeah, so it increased by 1 if I am putting a right child. For if I am putting a left child, it will decrease by 1. Now if I go up, from 47 to 31, this tree, let's say this tree has a height of 2 and this tree has a height of 2. Okay, so you can somehow think of height starting from here to the left side and right side. Okay, so this has a height of 2 and this has a height of 2 again. Now in that case, the balance factor was anyway 0 and it remains 0. It does not change. Now is there any way that I can know this, because I am not storing the heights? So how do I know that I don't have to change the balance factor at this 31? So you see, so here we can use a trick. So what are you seeing? So for a child, so for a node U, if balance factor changes from, in this case from -1 to 0, but let's say +/- 1 to 0. Now what can you say if a node, for a node the balance factor changes from plus minus 1 to 0? So what should have happened? What should have happened? So that means earlier it was imbalanced and now it has become balanced. So now it has become balanced. But the height of the subtree that is rooted at this node u has not changed. Of the subtree rooted at u does not change. Right? Because what would have happened earlier, one of the subtrees was larger than the another, but when it changed to 0, the one that was smaller has got some height, so that now they are equal. See, because in insertion you insert only one node, it cannot happen that both the left and right subtree have gained height. Only one of them have gained height. In this case, for example, it has gone from -1 to 0. That means the right subtree has gained a height, increased by 1. Right? But left subtree has the same height. It has become balanced now. So that means the overall tree at u, suppose u was the root node, has the same height. Does not change. So that means if the subtree, that it is 47, does not change, that means if I go up, I don't have to make any changes, because this has gone from -1 to 0. That means the height has not changed, so no balance factor has to change going up. So that means I can just stop here. I don't even have to go to the parent. So this is one trick I can use. I can simply say if it has changed from -1 or +1 to 0, no need to go up. But you see if the other way happens. So if the change happens from 0 to ±1, what does it mean? That means now in insertion, one of the subtrees has gained height. And because it was balanced earlier, that means the overall tree at node u has gained height. So that means, yeah, you will have to go up. So you will have to go up. So at every point I will see if the balance factor is changing at all. If it is changing from -1 to 0, I am done. I don't have to go up. Okay, the subtree rooted at this node has not gained height. If it has gone up from 0 to ±1, it has gained height, and I have to go up. Okay, so in this case I don't have to go up. Now let's try to insert a different node. Let's say I try to insert say 71. So if I insert 71, so where will 71 go? So let's say insert 71. So I'll start from 59, go right, 73 go left, 67 go right. Yes, and go right I put 71, fine. Balance factor 0. Now you see 67 has got a right child, its balance factor will increase by 1, right, like we did last time. So it will become +1. Now this has gone from 0 to +1. Okay, that means I have to, you see, if it has 0 to +1, that means this has gained height. This has gained height, so I have to go up. I have to go to 73. Yes, so now it's left. I know that left subtree has gained height. That's why I am going up. So that means its balance factor will decrease by 1. Yes, the left subtree has gained height, so its balance factor will decrease by 1. So now I will change it to 0. But now I know this balance factor has gone from plus 1 to 0. As to my what I have understood, if it is gone from minus 1 to 0 or plus 1 to 0, then the one of the subtree has gained height, but overall the tree rooted at that node has not gained height. So that means this tree height remains the same. I don't have to go to the root. And this looks very interesting. So now I can know when to go up and when to stop. So I stop here. I stop up to here. So like I stopped up to here in this part. Okay. So now let's try to do something interesting where we will have to see some typical critical case. So now let's try to insert 11. Okay, so let me try to insert 11. So I insert 11, 59, I go left 17, I go left again 7, I go right 13, I have to go left now. 11 is not there, I insert. Okay, like BST, and I put the balance factor 0. Now 13 had an insertion to the left, so that means its balance factor will decrease by 1. So it was 0, it will become minus 1. Now will I have to go up or not? Its balance factor has gone from 0 to minus 1, that means I have to go to the parent. Okay, so follow the path. Go to the parent. Now at 7. At 7, what do I have to do? Yes, because its right subtree has gained height. That's why I am coming here. Its right subtree has gained height. That means its balance factor will increase by 1. Its right subtree has gained height. So it was plus 1. So it will become plus 2. Okay, now this is not plus 2 is not possible in AVL tree. Now this is a critical thing. Okay, not possible. Sure. Where is that? So that means now I have to do something special. Yes, I never encountered plus 2. So yeah, till now I was just handling things, okay, when to go up, when not to go up. But here I have to do something special so that the balance factor is restored, okay, to plus 1. And now that's what we will see. How do we do something special? So let's try to abstract it out, like what would happen in general case when we are going up. Okay, so let's abstract this. So you consider a situation where balance factor of, let's say, minus 2 or plus 2 is detected, of minus 2 is detected at a node. And what does it mean? So prior to insertion it should have a balance factor of minus 1. This would have been left heavy. Yes, minus 1, and change from minus 1 to minus 2 implies that the left child has gained height, or left child has gained height, and that also would mean that the left child's balance factor would have gone from 0 to minus 1, plus minus 1. So left child's would have gone from 0 to plus minus 1. It can be either plus 1 or minus 1, right? Otherwise this cannot happen. If the left, because it is becoming minus 2, that means the left subtree is heavier, and that means it has gained height, and gaining height can only happen when you go from 0 to plus minus 1. This is what we have discussed, right? So you gain height when you, so that means your balance factor goes from 0 to plus minus 1. If it goes from plus minus 1 to 0, that means you have not gained height. You have height. Sure. So yeah. So now what we should do, so for that we can think about, say, various cases. So we will have to take various cases. So let's take the cases. So let's call, so we have a node U. So this is node U, and so this left child, let's say this is node V, right? And so U has a balance factor of, minus 2, and we can have a balance factor of plus minus 1 after insertion, right? So we will have to take both the cases separately. So one is plus 1, another is minus 1. So let's try. And actually the simpler case is when both have the same sign, minus 2 and minus 1. So let's draw the situation before insertion and after insertion. So what would happen before insertion? So U would have a balance factor of minus 1. Okay, and V would have a balance factor of 0. And U has a right subtree, suppose let's say height h, and V has two subtrees. It would be balanced. Let's call it LL and LR. Okay, and this is like following L, 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 R. So we are just calling it. Now what will be the height of L and LR? You see, this is height h, this is balanced, left heavy, so that means overall is h plus 1. So plus 1, so this should be both h. So they are both height h. And the simpler cases, so that means when the V has got the same sign as minus 1, so that means I should have an insertion in the left LL. Okay, so case 1, insertion in LL. So that means if I insert in LL, its height will become now h plus 1. Okay, so yeah, so let's draw that. So case 1, so node V, LL and LR has a smaller height. So same, this becomes h plus 1. V has gained height, its balance factor become minus 1, and U's balance factor becomes minus 2. Okay, and nothing changes to its right subtree. So the right subtree has a height of h, and left subtree rotated V has a height of h plus 1 plus 1, h plus 2, and its balance factor is minus 2. Now what should we do in that case? So actually what we can do, so we can, so here we can do something interesting. We can do something called rotations. So we can rotate this structure such that V comes up, and so V comes to the position of U, and U becomes the right child of V. Okay, and these subtrees LL, LR and R are accordingly uh, placed. So let me just show you what happens after this rotation, and then we will have to go into okay, what is rotation, what actually we do. So what will happen if you do rotation around V? So V comes on top, okay, its right child becomes U. Okay, we will see the balance factors later. So and U has its right subtree intact, V has its LL intact, and LR attaches to U. So what will happen? So LR and R has the same height, so U will have a balance factor of 0. Now V will have H plus 1 and H plus 1, so it will be balanced. Wow. So if V is balanced, that means I don't have to go up. I can stop here. So this looks interesting. I was in a very difficult situation with -2, and now I have changed the situation such that now at the root I have a 0. Okay, so this looks good. Now let's try to understand more, like why should this work and why nothing else will change in binary search tree.